Basically, it's a little bit it's going to be different having Baker out there than Tyrod. So we just got to do what we got to do, make sure we're communicating, make sure we're on our X's and O's, making sure that we're tackling and not beating ourselves.
All right, and Tunch Ilkin will be joining us later in the show with the Sirius XM Scouting Report. Everything you need to know about the Cleveland Browns, but we start today with the Steelers practice report for Thursday. Some good news, some bad news. We will get to it. Practicing as full participants for the second day in a row, Morgan Burnett and L.J. Fort. The bad news, Marcus Gilbert did not practice on Wednesday, did not practice again today. And then some slightly good news, Xavier Grimble dealing with a concussion was limited on Wednesday. He was full today. So we will talk a little bit more about all of this with Bob Labriola, but first let's get a chance to hear from defensive coordinator Keith Butler about what it would mean if Burnett was back.
We're gonna do the best that we can with what we got, and I think Morgan gives us a little bit more opportunity, to do some things that maybe we haven't done. So I think he'll help us. I think getting LJ back will help us. So we feel good going into this game. We're excited and in the anticipation of playing the Browns. Browns are a lot better football team than they have been in the past, so it'll be a tough game.
All right, Bob Labriola is here to talk about injuries and coordinator Thursday, and hearing Keith Butler say that, Labs, it's good because we had the bye week for a lot of guys to get on the up and up, and Morgan Burnett and LJ Fort could potentially return to game action this Sunday at Heinz Field.
Yeah, and I think if we do see them, where we would see them, Missi, is more in the sub packages. The original plan was for Morgan Burnett and Sean Davis to be the starting safeties, Terrell Edmonds to be brought aboard kind of in sub packages, and then gradually work into whatever his capability would allow him to be. But with all of these, with this long absence from Morgan Burnett because of injuries dating back to the preseason, Terrell Edmonds is the starter, and I would imagine he would remain the starter now because he has been improving week by week. But Morgan Burnett gives Keith Butler a little bit more flexibility in some of the sub packages. The Steelers were all along thinking about using like one of the hybrid safeties, dime linebacker type people. That's why they drafted Terrell Edmonds. I think Morgan Burnett also fits into that category. And then the other guy who has practiced 2 days in a row full this week, L.J. Fort, really stepped up that week that Vince Williams was injured and played very well and showed, I thought, a pretty good ability to play in coverage. And so, you have these two pieces back, and I think it will give Keith Butler a lot more flexibility. You have a lot more moving parts to play with, pieces on the chessboard, so to speak.
All right, and with Morgan Burnett, Labs, we have seen sometimes where he's able to practice, then maybe not. The fact he put 2 days in a row, back-to-back, that's a good sign. I'm still going to wait till Friday until I feel really confident that we're going to see him on Sunday. But as we said, it is Coordinator Thursday. You heard from Keith Butler. Now let's take a listen to Offensive Coordinator Randy Fichtner talking about not committing turnovers this time against the Browns.
Not necessarily different. But obviously maybe more aware. Maybe everyone's being a lot more aware about it. But that's not unexpected because it is a good defense, and they've done it to everyone, and we know the value of ball security, and it showed in the first game.
When you look at that first game, were some of yours unavoidable, or was it them making plays?
They made plays, and you would think most turnovers are unavoidable because in the end we're responsible for the ball.
All right, Labs, I go back to Tuesday in Coach Tillman's press conference. He said what the Browns defense did against the Steelers week 1 was not a lightning strike, and Myles Garrett is the real deal. I think everybody knew that going into week 1, but he's consistently shown that throughout the season. So what else did Randy tell you about Garrett this week when you had a chance to catch up with him?
Well, in Randy Fichtner's mind, the Browns defense in terms of the generating the takeaways, and the Browns do lead the NFL currently with 20 takeaways to this point in the season. So this is not something that, it's just a result of the Steelers playing poorly in that department in the opener. This is a Browns team that, specifically their defense, they have become a takeaway defense. And really, if you ask me, there's nothing better, not a better characteristic for a defense to have than the ability to take the football away. Myles Garrett is tied for 4th in the NFL with 4 sacks, and beyond the times that he gets to the quarterback, he is a threat always to get to the quarterback. And so offensive coordinators, offensive linemen, they constantly have to know where he is at all times, how he's rushing, where he's coming from. And so I think a lot of that kind of pressure can often lend itself to poor throws, and which then turn out to be interceptions, and the Browns have 11 of those already. So Myles Garrett is, I believe, the key guy, at least he is in Randy Fichtner's mind. And if the Steelers can manage to control him, which is no easy task, I think they should be able to improve greatly upon the 6 turnovers that they committed up in Cleveland.
All right, Labs, thanks so much for your time. Of course, the Steelers status report will be coming out tomorrow on Friday. We will have that for you here on Steelers Live. Time for a quick break. When we return, Tunch Ilkin joins me for his Sirius XM scouting report. Welcome back, everyone. As promised, Tunch Ilkin is on hand with your Sirius XM scouting report.
Missy, we're going to start with the offense, and whenever you start with the offense, you got to start with the quarterback. Baker Mayfield, the rookie quarterback of the Cleveland Browns, who's been starting the last few games since Tyrod Taylor got injured. And the one thing about Baker Mayfield, he plays with a lot of juice. It's not beyond him to get into a defender's face after a play he didn't like. Now, one of the things you'll notice in the video is he is at his best when he knows where he's going with the ball right off the bat. He's not good at second and third reads, but he's really good at the primary read. When he's got the arm, he makes the throws, and he has the arm strength to go to the sidelines. He's got the arm strength to go down. But one of the things I know that Todd Haley has coached him up in is to make sure that he gets rid of the ball fast. You're seeing there, when he doesn't get rid of the ball fast, he's got a lot of upper body gyrations. Like he pump fakes once and then he pump fake again. And one of the things I think that his problem is, I'm not sure he trusts his eyes. You see a couple of pump fakes there and then bad throws. One of the other things that you'll see about him, when the pocket starts collapsing, he goes down. Now, he starts seeing the rush. And watch right here. You see him trying to jump up in. Now, one of the things he will do when he does escape, he's not bad at throwing the ball when he's on the run. But when that pocket starts collapsing, it's almost like he has happy feet, and the next thing you know, he goes down. The other guy on that offense that you got to really worry about is their running back, Nick Chubb. This guy is very strong. He's very physical. He's got a tremendous jump cut. He can bounce it outside. He breaks a lot of tackles, and he's got the speed. Although he's not a burner, but it seems that he gets into the secondary in a hurry, and he just doesn't go down. He's very strong in the legs, the lower body. There's not a lot of room to hit, and sometimes the jump cut, he almost looks like a slalom skier. He does a great job of getting out of harm's way, and he is capable of breaking big runs. And then in the throwing game and the passing game, one of the guys that are the number one guy that, wow, look at that run. That is a great run. I should have waited a little bit longer before I went to Jarvis Landry. But Baker Mayfield loves to find Jarvis Landry. When you look at Jarvis Landry, he always plays with an edge. He is very, very physical for a slot receiver, and he talks a lot of trash. He is very, very edgy. When he makes a play, he lets everybody know. He runs great routes. He's got great hands, and very, very physical. As Mike Tomlin likes to say, he makes those combat catches, and he's got a nice catch radius. He lays out, and he'll bring the ball in, and he is the guy that brings juice to their entire offense. And one of the things he's always really good at is he knows where the first down markers are and he knows where the goal line is. On the defensive side of the ball, you heard Bob Labriola and you heard Randy Fichtner talk about Myles Garrett. Myles Garrett is a beast. He is big, he is strong, he is physical, he's got great pass rush moves, he's got the outside swat. He does a great job of strip sacking. When he gets the edge, he's swatting for the quarterback's arm. Right here, he gets it against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. The other thing does, they'll move him around a lot. Sometimes he'll play on the guard. Sometimes he'll switch sides. But the beauty of what he does is he's always getting to the quarterback. He's got great penetration. He's very, very quick off the ball, and he's very difficult to block. He does a great job of pursuing in the run game as well, and he's got a tremendous bull rush. One of the things you'll notice, a lot of times he'll move the offensive tackle, like right here against San Diego, he'll put him right in the quarterback's lap and then use the offensive tackle to make the sack. Also has a tremendous inside move. When they play him on the left side, he does more of that. Right here, he comes out a swim move on the right tackle of the San Diego Chargers and does a great job. On the inside, Larry Ogunjobi is the guy that plays the nose, and what he does is he has a great first step. As a matter of fact, if you watch their defensive line, Ogunjobi is the first guy off the ball consistently. He's got great hands, his number 65. He gets his hands into the center almost immediately, and he drives them back. One of the things, he plays with great leverage. He's very hard to block, and many times on run plays you see people trying to double team him. He doesn't get double teamed easy. He's got a great first step, great extension, and he's got 4 sacks. Myles Garrett has 7. On this, he's running a twist. He comes around the outside, and he is very, very physical. At the linebacker spot, one of the things is you no longer have Joe Schobert, which is great. He was their leading tackler. He's got a bad hamstring. I don't know if he's going to play this week. Probably not. But Jamie Collins has been playing the middle, and he does a great job. One of the things you notice about Jamie Collins is he is a great athlete, and he almost plays like Gumby. He puts his body in unique positions to get under offensive linemen, and a lot of times you'll see him, he looks like he's way off balance, and then he'll just fall off, just like on that play, and make a tackle. The other thing you notice about Jamie Collins, they'll move him around. When the Cleveland Browns go into their bear defense, most of the times he's stacked behind the nose tackle. But sometimes he's stacked as an outside linebacker. They move him around. And one of the things you also know about Jamie Collins is that sometimes he loafs. He's one of those guys that picks his spots at this point in his career, but he knows when to accelerate. So that's the scouting report, Miss, and I think that this is going to be a good matchup, them on defense versus the Steeler offense.
All right, thank you so much, Tunch. And of course, the Steelers will be wearing their throwback jerseys on Sunday against the Browns at Heinz Field. And for our Steelers Nation Unite members, today the keyword is jersey. So head to SteelersNationUnite.com and enter the keyword jersey to earn your extra yards for joining us today here on Steelers Live. For Bob Labriola and Tunch Ilkin, I'm Missi Matthews. Thanks so much for joining us today. We'll see you on Friday at 4 p.m.